Hello, BookTube, and welcome back. I actually slapped my hands too hard there. That kind of hurt. uh, let's crack on with another bookshelf tour. I believe this is episode 4562. Uh, um, this is the second to last bookshelf tour that I'm going to do now. I'm just going to wrap up because I usually do about 10 books and just talk about them. So I'm just grabbing what is left right now. And I've brought the books I'm going to talk about today down here because the books I'm talking about are placed on the top shelf here, which you can't see. And they are coffee table books and anime. I was going to say manga then, but that's the cartoon version, isn't it? And without further ado, let's just crack on, hey? So the first one is, as we all know, if you have watched this channel before, I love me some Discworld. You can see all the novels there. And this hardback edition is Josh Kidby's... Ow! I'm just here to hurt myself today. This is Terry Pratchett's Discworld, Imaginarium. So this is a collection of Paul Kidby's art. So it covers all the Discworld characters. You know, you've got the Mona Lisa there, the Discworld variant. You've got it's not really how to draw kind of a book. It's just, you know, shows you all his artwork that goes into the Discworld novels. There's the Sergeant Pepper version. One of my favourite characters there is the librarian of the Unseen University. In the very first book, he gets turned into an orangutan and doesn't want to get turned back. So it goes for all like the main characters. You know, you got Moist von Livthick there, and it's just nice to have, you know, on a coffee table to look at some of the art, especially if you're interested in Discworld. That's from the Science of Discworld, of the wizards looking at our universe and going, the Earth is round, where theirs is flat. Flat Earthers. And here he is, there's the orangutan. Here he is. So yeah, that's pretty great little look through of all Josh Kidby's art. And each, you know, it's in chapters. There's the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, Death, one of my favourite characters ever. And it splits into characters, you know, it separates the Discworld into different regions. It goes through Ankh-Morpork and goes through the Watch and Moist von Livthick, and it goes to different areas and shows you a collection of the, you know, the area of where it is and a couple of characters. Really, really good piece of artwork to look at. The second one, I am... I'm going to jump. I'm a big Pink Floyd head. I don't know I was going too fast. I think I was going faster than the speed of light there. I was big Pink Floyd fan. And this one is Echoes, The Complete History of Pink Floyd. Said that very strangely, by Glenn Povey. Now, this is giving you a basic introduction of Pink Floyd, but it's mostly about where they played. So you've got like a whole history of all the concerts going through the 1960s and 1970s. It does give you a bit of, you know, how the band met and how Syd Barrett completely lost his mind to ecstasy. And it goes through all like the periods of, you know, Roger Waters falling out with the rest of the band and then the band going off into their own little David Gilmour era of the late 80s and 90s. So it's got a couple of cool pics, you know, of the earlier Pink Floyd. And yeah, I love me some Pink Floyd. And, you know, it's one of those books you can just pick up a coffee table, and that's one of my favourite concerts of Pink Floyd. That's Pulse. It's great little thing to pick up, you know, and just read like a certain part of Pink Floyd. It's not really, you know, too in depth or anything like that. If you're interested in like an you know, let's say you wanted to read a bit of where they played in Venice, for instance, or the London gigs. It's all that kind of stuff. You can pick it up and read. What I like to call a toilet book, but it's a little bit too big for a toilet book. It's a book you can pick up and read for 5 pages and put down again. But yeah, Pink Floyd Echoes: A Complete History of Their Concerts. If you watched this channel before, I've knocked the curtain behind here. Don't knock my phone over. Here we go. If you watched this channel before, you know I'm a big fan of Bill Bryson as well, and this is his hardback edition of A Short History of Nearly Everything. So this is his science book. I'm itchy. This is his science book of nearly everything. It's 20 years old now, so there's a little bit of outdatedness to it, but it's still immensely interesting. He talks about the bone wars of the different archaeologists trying to sabotage each other. Getting rid of the bones and robbing each other's bones and planting fake bones, and just generally, hijinks. And it goes through like all the main characters who discovered like gravity and evolution and germ theory and all that kind of good stuff. And it just it gives you like a graphic look of how the solar system came about. And again, it's one of those books you can just pick up and read a couple of pages and put back down again, and whatever tickles your fancy of what you want to learn about, in a very Bill Bryson-esque kind of sarcastic way of delivering. If you don't know who Bill Bryson is, he's a very humorous non-fiction author, and he kind of wants to inject that into all his non-fiction books that he ever wrote. And this book is no different, and that's A Short History of Nearly Everything. That weighs 1 metric ton. And the last coffee table book that I'm going to talk about today, I used to have a big coffee table book selection, but I went through like a crazy unhaul not so long ago, and I think I got rid of a good chunk of them, and now I miss them. This one is, I'm a fan of some of his movies. I think Wes Anderson. I like the Royal Tenenbaums. What's the hotel one? What's the hotel? Oh, the Grand Budapest Hotel, Moonrise Kingdom. Then the top three dogs. The Phoenician Scheme's a bit alright, but this is accidentally Wes Anderson. So this is like his fan club. Wes Anderson's known as like a very stylized kind of film director. He likes parallel lines. He likes pastel colours, and this is a selection of his fan club throughout the globe, just taking photos of something that could be in a Wes Anderson film. So, for instance, the flaps are coming off here. Hang on. You got like stadium seats. You've got like a weird kind of symmetrical, I don't know, what would you call that, 1970s computer system. All these could appear in a Wes Anderson film, and it gives you like a short it gives you like a short description of what you're seeing in each country, and the book is separated out into different regions, and you've got a stadium here. So all these things you'd expect to see in a Wes Anderson film. Everything's parallel. There's a lot of pastel colours, the umbrellas on the beaches. It's a good little book just to pick up and just read about and go, oh, that actually looks quite cool for, whatever region it's on. Like here we got, was that Southeast Europe, South and Eastern Europe. So as I said, it goes throughout the globe and just finds stuff that can absolutely just lift pitch into one of Wes Anderson films. Wes Anderson films are not for everyone. I don't think. A lot of them can be, some of them are quite naff, to be honest with you. But when they hit. I mean, I love the Royal Tenenbaums. It's so weird. It's almost like French cinema, I guess. French building, weird. And yeah, so it's all that kind of stuff, in this book. And that is The Last Coffee Table Book. Who's that by? Oh, it's collected by Wally Koval. And Wes Anderson is he writes a foreword to this book as well. Fairly decent coffee table book. Okay, let's move over to anime. Oh! Right, I've not read that much anime. In fact, I've only read 4 different animes, and I've only kept 2. I might start a new series, but one of my problems with anime is it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. It just does not stop. It doesn't know how to stop. So the 2 I kicked to the curb is, and people love this one as well, Death Note. Death Note is about this fella who finds a notebook, and when he writes people's names in the book, the god of death comes and gives them a heart attack or kills them, however he decrees. And then it's very much like a Catch Me If You Can kind of a book. I can't remember how many volumes of Death Note there is. I used to have the black editions. I think if they cut that series, again, I'm talking just about the black editions, from 6 to 3, the series would have been far better, and I probably would have kept them. Even though it's got that infuriating way of constructing a story of almost like a heist movie. Do you like the heist movies? Like, if I do that, then I need to do this. Oh, hang on. But I know you were going to do that, so I'm going to do this instead. It's like that Rick and Morty sketch, if you ever seen it, when Rick's arguing with the robot. They're like, well, I could have done this, I could have done that. Well, I knew you were going to do that, so I did this. And that's what Death Note's like. It's like, well, I know you were going to do that, so this is what I've done this for. And then the other person will say, well, I knew you were going to do that. So they're convoluted, and you're like, oh, come on now. And every second page, it had the word Kira in it. Kira, 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 all the way through it. But as I said, they should have cut it off at the 3rd book after the death of one of the characters, and then just wrapped up the story somehow. Because the latter half, was it a pain to get through, a slog. Because it got worse, that convolution and all that kind of crap. So I got rid of it. The second anime I got rid of, it's not that I didn't like it. I did some of the early ones. And I couldn't be bothered again because it just kept on going and going and going. It was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's to look at like the Joestar family, I'm sure it's the Joestar family, from like the 19th century up until modern day, as they fight evil with magical powers. That's pretty much the gist of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I had the really nice editions, hardback editions of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I think I got to, was it volume 6 or something, Stone something or other, where they're in a prison. That's when I just dropped off with the story, because I just started to get bored, because it kept on going and going and going and going. I was like, check please, I'm out, I'm done. So those are the 2 I chucked. But the 2 I kept, again, with the one I'm about to talk to, that can certainly be put on this series that I just kept on going. So this one is, I actually picked up this series because I watched the first couple of episodes on Netflix, and this is The 7 Deadly Sins. That's only half of them, the other half's up there. You could, I might drop them. So they got like a nice spine to them, because it just like looks at the whole story, and it goes right through to volume 41. So there's 41 of these little books, and another problem I have with some of the anime is sometimes when you're reading, it's quite confusing to know what. Oh, okay, that's quite simple to know what's going on, but some of them you're like, I have no idea what is happening here. I can't get it from the picture because it's so unbelievably busy. I'm trying to find one for you. It's usually when they're having a battle, and there's 3 or 4 people having a fight, and you're just like, I have no idea of what this art is trying to tell me. Obviously, I can't find it now, can I, when I'm put on the spot? But, you know, that's kind of like what you expect from anime, that kind of way of drawing. So the decimal, what am I talking about? The 7 deadly sins are exiled knights. That's where I got decimal from. That are named after the 7 deadly sins. So you got Wrath with Meliodas, and you got Ban. I'm forgetting what sin they're connected to. And they, with the princess, are trying to take back her home world from the bad guys. And then the 7 deadly sins are gonna redeem themselves. That's basically the overall gist of all 41 of these novels. And there's all hard people and grokks and all that they've got to fight along the way. Have their own little personal journeys as they're going. I do like 7 deadly sins, even though you can, as I said, definitely apply. It went on far too long. 41 of these novels, far too long, right? But I love the characters of Meliodas, I love Ban, I love Diane, and I love King. Not so much Escobar. Is it Escobar? Escobar or Escanor? I can't remember. Merlin and Greed. I didn't really mind Greed. It was a Growlithe or Growlithe or something like that for Greed. Accepted. But that's what the second half of the series more focused on King Arthur. And definitely the first half of the series I really enjoyed. And that's why I kept hold of the 7 deadly sins. And all the front covers are pretty much, got the same theme around it. That's Meliodas there, that's Ban, and that's the Queen, and that's Diane. So all the covers look pretty much similar too. The other anime that I kept a hold of, let's get this one over here, is, out of the 4 I've read, this is by far my favourite. I read this before I watched the series on Netflix, and this is 27 volumes, so it's not that bad, and it's in 3 editions in one book. This is Full Metal Alchemist. Hang on. Yeah! I love me Full Metal Alchemist. It's about the Elric brothers, Alphonse and... I've just had the brain force. It's Edward Elric. It is, isn't it? See, in my head, that's like, that's wrong. No, it is Edward Elric. They kind of, at the start, they do a bit of magic because the mother is dead and they're trying to resurrect her. And it goes against, what they should do. And Edward, the older brother, loses his arm and his leg, and his brother completely loses all of his body. So his soul gets put into a knight in shining armor kind of thing. Trying to that's the younger brother who gets put into like a giant steel armor suit. And then what they try and do then, the main thing is they're trying to get the bodies back, especially he wants Alphonse to have his body back. But there's also, there's bad guys now who are very much within the government, and there's like homunculi, which are like evil demon kind of things that eat people. And the end of the book is pretty much that the whole city is under this magical I don't know what would you call, ruin that would destroy the city and unleash the homunculi onto the populace, which they will feed upon. And that's what the twins are there to fight against. Obviously, there's more to the story than, that's just the overall theme of the story. I love me Full Metal Alchemist. I think it's brilliant. So if you watch this video and you know any more, you probably know more about anime than about... you probably know more about anime than I do. If you've got any suggestions that's like Full Metal Alchemist, you just put them down there. And that's it for today, folks. That's all the books I'm going to talk about. The next one, the next bookshelf tour is going to be my final one because I've had enough. And I can't remember what episode this truly is. I think it's 24, 25. But the last one is just going to be all the graphic novels. Because I think I said at the start of this video, I usually do 10 at once. I've got more than 10 graphic novels, but I'm just going to ram them all into one video. And that's it for me today, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye, BookTube.